Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Pre-show Alex Wood here. We're just here before we speak to Katie and Hayley today on our episode of Who You Are is Important. Welcome to the second episode of this. Hope you enjoyed the first. If you didn't, please go back and watch it. It was with Mr. Graham Ibbotson, the theatre manager of this. We're going to speak to both Katie and Hayley today, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoying speaking to these two lovely ladies. They are excellent people, and I adore them both amazingly. So the next voice that you will hear will be both of theirs. Enjoy. And we're live. We have both Katie and Hayley here. Here they are. Look at them. Wave to the camera, you two.
Hi.
So for those that do not know, this is Hayley Doubtfire and Katie Green. No, that's wrong. It's Katie Doubtfire and Hayley Green. That's it. That's it. Or Kaylee, as we're called.
Yeah.
Hashtag Kaylee, if we're going to hashtag it.
That was on me.
She put it on the house.
Yep. It's on the house. Underneath the number, it says Shay Kaylee. The House of Kaylee.
That's amazing. I love it brilliantly. I absolutely do. So we'll start first with Hayley, because I don't actually know the answer to this question for Hayley, whereas I do know the answer to this question for Katie, and I want to know more things than I already know today. That's the aim for this podcast here, is I know more things, and the people out there who don't know a lot about either of you know a lot more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, great, amazing. So, Hayley, where were you born?
Nottingham.
Just in a random place in Nottingham? Or are we...
City Hospital in Nottingham.
Thank you so very much. Katie,
Hey.
where were you born?
Scarborough Hospital.
Scarborough, born and bred. There we are.
Born and bred. It's in me
There.
blood.
There we are. Hayley, what do your parents do?
My mum is a community nurse, and I don't know my dad, but my stepdad's a bus driver.
Yes. What a class job that is. Bus driver is amazing. You think about it, if you can drive a bus, you can drive anything.
Yeah, sure.
I guess
Sure,
so.
of course.
Because they're big, aren't they?
Yeah.
It must be difficult
Oh
to
my
drive.
god, I won't want to park one of them. I would not even want to attempt it. That would not end well.
Just a bus driver. A bus driver can drive a tank, surely. Like they're two of the same things, pretty much, aren't they?
Ask him. I think my brothers can drive tanks. They're both Marines.
That was my next question. Was do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have two brothers and a sister.
And your two brothers are both in the US, the UK Army, and they're both Marines.
Yes, they're Marines. They're not. They wouldn't like you saying that they're in the army. They are
Oh,
Marines.
sorry.
Still get it wrong.
I know a little bit about the rivalry between the armed forces in the United Kingdom, especially the Air Force and the Army. I know a lot about that one, as my dad's a retired Air Force captain person. So yeah, it's the rivalry is true. I know that.
It is.
And your sister, what does she do?
I don't know. I'm actually not in contact with any of my family and haven't been for a long time. So
Okay.
last I knew, she was studying psychology at uni, but that was years and years ago, and I don't know anything since.
Okay. Katie, we move on to you.
Yes.
As I didn't actually know your mother, God bless her soul, I didn't until she passed away in 2016, as you said.
Yeah.
But obviously, I knew you in 2016, and I knew
Yeah.
what a big thing it was, and how awful and just it was sad. It was obviously a sad time for everybody, including yourself.
100%. She was such a character, and I think like most of Scarborough knew her in one way or another, or at least knew the little old lady. That I say old. She didn't look old, but she was old. But like she was like tottering around with like her dolly trolley, as she called it. Like she was quite well known, bless her. And She was she was my number one fan. She was just, any performance I did, she was there. She used to make really embarrassing like banners and signs, and she'd like stand up like, "Woo, go Katie!" And it was like, at the time, it was like, "Oh my god, Mum, sit down." But honestly, like she was just the best. She was great, bless her. Massive love to that lady.
What did she do? What did she do for a living?
She did a few things. She started off her life as a nurse. And then she went into working with adults with learning difficulties, and then she ended up at Gladstone Road School. She did some work there with SEN children. She absolutely adored that job. Like, that was just everything to her. But the thing that happened to me was then obviously she was Mrs. Doubtfire at school. And so then obviously as we'd be walking downtown and you'd hear kids go, "Mrs. Doubtfire," and then you see all the adults going, "You are?" Like, yeah, so obviously like the name travelled with us. And then she worked a little bit at Sainsbury's, and then eventually once she retired, she volunteered for ARCO, which is the amazing charity shop that we have in Scarborough, who have helped YMCA and numerous places in our community with amazing donations. And it was actually my mum giving Veronica, who owns ARCO, the push to set it up that actually made her set up ARCO in the first place. So that's why in August ARCO turns blue. Their shop window always goes blue, and that's in like memory of my mum and stuff. So that's where she ended her days, was at ARCO, doing voluntary work.
Which means that no matter what happens throughout like the rest of time or anything like that, she will always be remembered for the truly like selfless work that she did.
Oh, massively.
Like the entire line of jobs and list of things that you've just said, there's not one thing that necessarily is such a money making, self-serving type job. Every single one of them things that you've just listed gives back to the community or gives back to other people or anything like that. There are people that are still and have a better life today because of the woman there, and obviously that's why she's well respected beyond everything. And that it kind of comes to my next question there, was that something that you always wanted to get into, was giving back to communities and doing that because of what your mum did?
Yeah, I think obviously I know it's a big cliche to say my mum is my hero, but she absolutely is. Like you just said, that how selfless she was. My mum would give her last penny to someone if it meant that they could eat, or if they needed it for whatever reason, she would give them it. She would like because she was a single mum bringing me up, like she put me before anything else. Like I always had the latest Polly Pocket that I maybe wanted, or the latest thing that, you know, that was around for kids at that time, and she would have nothing. Like, bless her, she used to shop from charity shops herself for her clothes, yet I'd be in the latest new look fashion or whatever. She just always was like that. And I think growing up with somebody like that, you can't help but want to be like that yourself, because obviously you see the difference that she made to so many other people, that why wouldn't you want to be like that? And I think like that's always how I've been. Like, I know you said before, like I always think of everyone else first before me. Like, I will let myself suffer before I will see one of my friends, one of Hayley, anybody else, who, no matter who it is, even if I don't know them very well, I would rather suffer than see anybody else, you know, in trouble or struggling or whatever. And I think it's just growing up with that kind of influence. There was no other way I could have gone, really, because it was just, like you say, seeing what she gave to the community and how much love people had for her and how much love she had for other people. There was nothing else I wanted to be other than a mini my mum, basically. That's all I wanted to be. And definitely, that's what's made me say, okay, how can I help others? What have I got? Because I don't necessarily have the experience of working, say, in nursing or anything like that, because the sight of vomit, no, I'm out there. I would never be good as a nurse. No, I'm done. Blood, fine. Vomit, so I would never be good in that sense. But then, yeah, I've always then looked to say, okay, what can I do? Where, how can I help other people? Definitely.
Okay, we'll move on again. Hayley, we're growing up in Nottingham and then obviously coming here. It's two massively different cultures of people. How was it adapting to the amazing life of Scarbados?
Sorry, say that again. She was laughing. I couldn't hear you.
How was it? Because obviously Nottingham is city life, so it's very busy, kind of fast paced, and doing that lot. How was it coming up to Scarborough and then everything kind of just slowing down immediately?
I absolutely love it. I love it so much. I think, like you say, everything in the city is so fast paced, and you have to be doing stuff all of the time. And I always say that it always felt very closed in Nottingham. Like, don't get me wrong, there's beautiful architecture and the art scene there is amazing, and the creative scene. But it felt very claustrophobic to me. So then when I came up here, I mean, just to visit Katie for the first few times, it was like, I don't know, it was like a cliche, but a breath of fresh air. Yeah. It really was. You've got the sea breeze, and I used to walk, if I went into Scarborough, I'd go in and I'd put my headphones in, because that's what I was used to. And you'd have a goal and an aim, and that's where you're going, and you'd walk fast with your headphones in, and you don't pay attention to anything. In a city, well, I had to learn quickly to take my headphones out and walk a lot slower, because people want to stop and talk, and you see somebody and they're straight over to you, and everyone's so friendly, and everyone's saying hi, and it's weird. But I'm used to it now. I like it now.
Yeah, and then like with the first few times with it as well, like I can imagine just walking through the town centre, you'd have had to stop every 2 minutes because everybody under the sun knows Katie.
Yeah, it was, honestly, it was like that. Everywhere we went, it was like we could never get anything done. We could like pop into town. It's even like that now. You pop into town to get like one thing from one shop. You think in Nottingham, even though I had to get around a big city, would take me about 10-20 minutes tops. Here it takes about 3 hours. Just constantly stopping. And every time she stands and talks to someone, and I'm like, when you used to walk around with like your mum or something, and she used to stop and talk to everybody, and you'd be like, who's that? That's what I do now. She talks to everyone, and I'm like, who's that? Most of the time it's, you've met them like 5 times before, and I've completely like blanked. I'm not very good with faces or names. But, yeah.
It's so funny, because I remember one time at the petrol station, and like I'd gone in, this was like first when you were visiting, or you just moved up, and I'd gone into the petrol station to pay for petrol, and I was just stood talking to the lady, and I came out, she's like, oh, how do you know her? I was like, oh, I don't. I just had a good 10-minute conversation with this lady. Turns out this lady really likes me, and then gave me all sorts of vouchers for nectar and stuff. It was great. But I just remember Hayley always being like, how do you know so many people? I was like, oh no, I don't know them. I just talk to anybody. But yeah, it was funny, you getting used to it, because then you'd be like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
And everyone must have thought I was just really, really rude, but it's just not the culture that I'm used to. I'm used to, like, in Nottingham, even if you saw someone you knew, it was like, no, carry on, don't even, like, acknowledge that they're there. Go and get your stuff done.
It's hug, how's your last few days been, what have you been up to, what you wear, how's the family, how's...
And even if you like know them or go to the pub with them every other day, it's just like a casual nod across the street, and then just carry on to do what you need to do. Yeah, that unfortunately, the culture shock is always amazing and everything like that. Did you go to a normal secondary school, or did you go to a private school, really?
A secondary school, yeah, normal.
Just a normal comprehensive secondary school.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm just asking, because like a load of my friends that I know from university or anywhere like that, like I've suddenly decided to join a posh boys club, and everybody went to grammar schools and secondary schools and everything, and like really posh things, and I'm like, what? Where was this education when I was a kid? Like, what's going on here?
No, I went to a standard secondary school that was across the field from my house.
And Keita, let's see if I can remember this. I think it was Redcliffe you went to.
Oh.
Graham.
No.
I'm so bad, I apologise. Go on then.
It was St. Augustine's.
Come on, man.
St. Augustine's I went to.
There's only like 4 of them.
Loved that place. Loved that place. I had the best time at secondary school. I'm one of the lucky ones to say I had such a good time. It was just so small when I was there. I don't know what it's like now, but like in my year there was like 400 No. Sorry, in the whole school there's 400 students. Sorry, in the whole school there's only 400. So you'd know when you're in year
That's
11.
insane.
Yeah, you'd know people from like year 7, year 8, and I started in year 8 doing like the drama plays and things there. So then I was like friends with the year 10s and 11s who were other roles in the. So yeah, it was just like everybody knew everybody else. It was just.
I think we had that many people in just one year group.
Yeah, mine was in the whole school. It was great.
Yeah, it's like from a personal thing. When I was in Cyprus, we had 126 kids from sixth form to year 7.
Wow.
And that was even more intense. That was like 16 people in your year, and they did vertical tutoring, so everybody knew everybody. It was a whole cluster of everything. It was brilliant. But like you've already spoken to arts and doing non-stop drama and performing and everything like that. Hayley, was that something that you did at school as well, or was that an after thing?
Oh, it was an after thing. I was very much into sports. I played football when I was in school, and that was kind of everything that I did up until about the age of 12, 13, and then I got into a bad crowd and did bad things, and then just didn't do anything for a while. Writing came later, so the arts came later for me, and performance much later.
Is that sixth form or later on after that?
I mean, I started writing when I was about 14, 15, but I didn't start performing until I was in my 20s, so it was way after that. I was far too shy and nervous and anxious to be doing any sort of performance-y stuff in school.
And then when it was in your 20s and everything like that, how did you originally get into it? Because obviously Katie's had much more of a traditional route into theatre and performance and drama, but like yours sounds a little bit more unconventional, so let's get into that one.
Well, because I was really into writing, like I say, I've written for a really long time, but I went and I think I didn't go to uni, and I had a job in like JJB Sports or something, and I hated it, and I don't know why, but I started looking for like apprenticeships and a new career because I knew I wasn't going to go to uni, and I found a writing company called Writing East Midlands, and they were doing a community arts administration apprenticeship. So I went for that, and I got it, and I got the job there. And then through them, I met a poetry collective called the Mouthy Poets, because the director worked in the office where I worked, and every week she'd tell me that I had to come along to this collective, and every week I said yes, and every week I didn't go, and then one Friday she was like, no, I'm in the office, I'm going straight there and you're coming with me, and she just made me go, and that was it. From then I loved them. I did see them perform a little bit before I went, and I just thought, that's incredible, I wish I could do that, but I thought I was too shy, but Debs, who ran Mouthy Poets, kind of really pushed me into it, and I went along for one session, and like I say, that was it, and I've performed and loved performing ever since, but I mainly just did poetry and spoken word. It wasn't until I came up here that Katie said, you're going to come and do Christmas Cracker with me.
Yeah.
I'd been here, like a month?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go to YM, we're going to do Christmas Cracker, you're going to help me direct it. So I thought, right, okay, I'll just stay behind the scenes and I'll help direct. I've directed things before, I really love it. Oh, no. No. I ended up on stage, dancing, singing, for like the first time ever in public. I used to, I love singing, but again, was far too shy to do it in public. And within like a few months of being up here, I was singing on stage in front of hundreds of people.
When you first started writing, what was it? Was it just normal, just writing your thoughts out in a diary, or was it always poetry? It
was, well, funnily enough, it was meant to be a diary. So I struggled with mental health and self-harm, and it started when I was 13, 14. And I always went to speak to this one teacher who was my English teacher, who told me that I should write it all down and try writing it in a diary. So I went home and I got a book out and I went, right, I'm going to do it. I put the date and I put Dear Diary, as you do. And then I couldn't think of anything to write, and then I just wrote a poem. It came out as poetry, and then that was it. And then I ended up writing this whole book of poetry. Went back and showed it to my teacher, and she went, right, don't stop, do not stop writing. And yeah, so it was meant to be a journal, but it all just came out as poetry. I think I found it easier to access if I wrote it in rhyme. I don't really write in rhyme anymore, but when I first started, it was all in rhyme, and I think that made it easier to sort of look at, read, get it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. Katie, when you started, was it always musicals, or was it traditional theatre first?
I started when I was 4, and at 4 years old, I was a little dancer with Benson's Stage Academy, and I stuck with them until I was 9. The only reason I left was, I was one of those avid dance kids that was like, multiple classes a day, one of those, and it was just one day in ballet, we just went up onto point, and I'd done point for ages, but then I did it on my left knee, and for some reason, somehow, all my ligaments just tore across my knee, so I was straight down to the ground, and that was me out of dancing for a little bit. I was in like pots and all sorts trying to fix it. It was an nightmare. And then I joined the studio on Falsgrave with Lisa. And again, I just kind of stuck into the dancing. And then it was Lisa asked me to do a few bits of singing because I joined one of their, I think it was like not the choir, it wasn't necessarily a choir, but like their vocal class, shall we say. And she heard me sing, and then I did a few solos with Dan Parrott. I don't know if you've heard of Dan Parrott, but he got massively huge, and he's all over the world doing all sorts. I think his latest tour was Matilda or something.
Wow.
So, he was my little singing and dance partner. We made a cute little dance couple, and then eventually it was Scarborough Star Search, which was a YMCA Productions like talent competition basically. That I entered. My mum made me enter, and she actually entered me. I didn't have a clue what was going on until I got this audition form back for what it entailed, and I was like, right, okay, I guess this is happening. And then I ended up winning the senior section of it. And then from there, I was then with like Kerry and David Nicholson, because the winner got to be in their next show. And then I just fell in love with everything that YMCA was about. Kerry, David, everything, absolutely loved it. Then I went on to do their pantomime. I was their principal boy, and then it just carried on from there. Yeah, it just went into sort of like Beauty and the Beast, and then all the different productions at the YM. So it was kind of the traditional sort of like dancer, learn you've got a voice, learn you can act kind of trajectory that I took, I guess. Not the normal, but that's what a lot like that tends to happen.
That's what like a lot of young people that enter not only the YMCA but places around about Scarborough area, definitely they go through that upward trajectory, especially a lot of young girls. I don't know a lot about the lads' trajectory or anything like that. There are a few lads that have made the similar trajectory that are super talented. And you guys know them better than I do. A lot better than I do. You guys are way talented and amazing. But yeah, we'll jump forward a few years. I think it's 2012. We'll jump forward, and we'll jump forward into the show of Little Shop of Horrors, if you do not mind. Is that okay?
Yes.
Why will we jump forward into the show of Little Shop of Horrors, Katie?
Are we jumping forward because I did the lighting for it? Is that why we're jumping forward? Yes.
Also, another reason why. Hayley, can you understand? Anyone pick this up? I'm being way cryptic.
Really?
I'm being really cryptic.
No, he wasn't. Why we're jumping forward to Little Shop of Horrors?
I wasn't around. I don't know.
I did the lighting. I didn't design the lighting. I'm not going to take credit for that. That was all Connor Skelton. No. Why are you being cryptic? I don't know.
That was the first time. That was the first time I met you.
Was it? 2012.
2012, Little Shop of Horrors. That was the first time I met you. Because of obviously, I got told to go up there and be a lighting assistant and just follow everything that Katie said to do.
You were the lighting assistant. Oh,
I had a lot of lighting assistants.
You were
that's
one
true.
of many assistants, Alex. Assistants
Honestly.
matter.
No, they do. They really do matter. You can't do things like that. They do.
Bless them. They really do. They really, really do. It's normally the first job backstage that you get told to go and do as well. Is you get told to go up and be a spotlight assistant up there. So it's your first rung on the pole.
Yes.
That's the way it is.
Oh, it's too heavy.
Yeah,
I tried.
You just can't do it. I kind of skipped that role, and it went from, "Oh, Katie, could you do me a favour? This is Connor Skelton. Could you do me a favour? Yeah, sure. What do you need? Can you operate all the lighting for Little Shop of Horrors? Pardon? Sorry. Excuse me. But yeah, that was. I had the best time doing that. Absolutely loved doing the lighting. I've done lighting since getting my new role at the YMCA. I've done quite a bit of lighting now, and I just love it. I don't know what it is, but it's just I don't think I had and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but I don't think I didn't give the lighting the respect it deserved, because from watching as an audience member, you just kind of take it all in, like, oh yeah, that was amazing, but then stepping back and seeing how that is programmed and designed and operated and the intricacies of it and how much it actually adds. When if you just whitewash a stage, that can give it a whole different meaning to if you put in some blues and you make it a little bit moody and a little bit dark. Like you don't realise what it adds, I don't think, until you do it. And I don't think I fully respected it, like I say, until I was on the other side of it and saw, like, I mean, for Little Shop of Horrors, I mean, you remember we had masses of queues. There was like 300-400 queues in that, and they were so fast, and we were operating all the individual LEDs on the plant and everything, and a lot of it was based on the plant's song, and it was so quick, and it was just, but then seeing it come to life and seeing how that then looked on the stage, it was just kind of magical, like how much it added, because that show was phenomenal, do not get me wrong, but then that extra level was just added in by the lighting. And I think from then, that's when I fully got my respect. And then I have plugged that for any show that I've then directed or been in. I've just absolutely sort of like had utmost respect for anybody that's in the technical side, whether it be sound, whether it be lighting, whether it be, backstage. I mean, sound I don't even touch because of how intricate that is, and like all the guys operating the sound say, like, the minute someone's mic's not on, everyone knows it's you. Everyone knows that sound have either missed a cue or something's gone wrong. Lighting, you've got a little bit of leeway if you're a little bit late with a cue, but sound, nah, I don't even touch it. I did it once and I pressed play and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified.
Which is like a big salute to the we will say it, kids that are doing this for year round, 6 shows a week at pantomime time and everything like that. Young Jake Newlove, young Bradley Dresser, all of them that have done it throughout the years. Unbelievable talent and unbelievable to.
Literally, I cannot agree with you anymore, and I can't quite put into words like the respect that I have for those guys, who most of them are volunteering their time, and they come in, and when they're on sound, for instance, when they do have all mics on and the boundaries are on and there's feedback and they've got to balance it, but you've still got to be able to hear people, and they're doing that all live. And these guys have been doing it since they were just mid-teens-ish, if that, some of them, and it's just like the respect that I have for them is just unreal. Like, I cannot tell you how much. And like I say, since getting my new role and having to learn it more and more and get to grips with it more and more, like I've said to you so many times, like, I have nothing but the utmost respect and admiration for these guys that come in and do it. And like, we've got new up and coming people, like we've got Jamie now, and he's another level as well. And it's just, and they dedicate their time just so selflessly, and it's just what they produce and what they can do is just amazing. And I recommend anyone that is on the stage or is even thinking about being on the stage, do one show behind the scenes, whether you're pulling the ropes, doing the set, doing the sound, sitting in the lighting, seeing how it all works and comes together. I can't celebrate that enough. And if people have got the chance to see it from the other side, because it just gives you this whole new perspective and this whole new respect for what actually goes on. It's amazing.
You've also done some backstage work as well, Hayley, haven't you? You did. You were Katie's mini assistant for Legally for 9 to 5.
9 to 5, yeah.
Yeah.
To dress very quickly over and over again.
And she used to be stood there with her hot drink, my hot honey and lemon, and my cold drink, and she'd be stood there with both, like, which one do you want? She'd just follow me around whichever exit.
It was terrifying. It was honestly terrifying. I was just like a little minion. But I didn't want to get it wrong and give her the wrong drink, because I think I did it once. I gave you like water and you were like, no, honey and lemon. It's absolutely terrifying, and I couldn't do it alone either. Like her changes were so quick at the beginning of that show. We had 3 of us at some point, at one point, ready with everything to quickly get a change, because she had to be back on stage within like 30 seconds. It was insane.
It was the opening number, wasn't it? I'd go on and sing a little bit in like this silk nightgown and dressing gown and like slippers, and then I'd come off. And within the space of somebody singing a verse, I had to be back on in a business dress, a belt, my high-heeled shoes, and my hair had to look pristine, like I hadn't just got out of bed. It had to look set, and I had to be ready. And bearing in mind, round the other side of the stage and up the stairs and on the pod, in heels. And I mean, these weren't like little heels. Yeah. And it was the quickest change I've ever done in my life. And she's right, I had 3 people, one on shoes, one on clothes off and one on clothes on, and then my hairdresser, but Stuart Harland, he literally was my personal hairdresser, there with hairspray and hair grips, just ready, just to refix the hair if we needed to. It was epic.
I was not very good, I have to say. I had Maisie there quite a bit.
Maisie
because
was amazing.
She was on point. Oh, she
will be so happy you've said that.
Oh, she was so good, and I'd like just get in a panic, because I don't like it when people get mad at me, and I always felt like Kate was really mad at me every time.
I just couldn't speak because my mic was still on, so like I couldn't say anything. I'd be like, so I just had to be really silent. So she's like, "Are you mad at me?" I was like, "I just can't speak. I just can't say anything."
No. She also looked fuming, but
that was when you gave me the belt inside out.
I gave her the belt inside out, and it all just went. But I had Maisie. Maisie was my life team.
Maisie she was just, I don't know how she did it. And she was so calm, and it was just like, oh, I'm undressed, oh, I'm dressed, oh, I'm ready. And I had like lines still to go, and I was like, oh, I'll just take a walk. I won't even run around the other side of the stage. I'll just casually stroll, because Maisie was just like, boom. She was, yeah. But no, you were great. You were amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
By the last show, you were great.
Yeah. I don't even think I did it in the last show.
No, you didn't.
No, the last show you were in the audience with me, yeah.
I was done. I'd had enough.
That was an amazing show.
An amazing show. The other one that we'll talk about before we move on to the various amounts of stuff that you guys have done. We haven't even mentioned Cracker yet. The other one that we will talk about and discuss that was obviously so huge, not to there's actually 2. I've thought of another one. The first one is Our House.
I wasn't there for Our House.
Right, okay, never mind. Because whenever I got there, everyone was like, Our House was amazing. It was the best show we've ever done in the world. It was so good.
You still say that now, and I'm always like,
but you weren't in it.
Was it? I wasn't there. I can't remember why, because I can't quite remember which year it fell on, but I don't know if there was work commitments or something, which was preventing me from even helping out backstage, which hurt me deeply because I've been there for so long. But yeah, Our House, unfortunately, I've heard nothing but amazing things about
it.
Amazing things. But unfortunately, I don't have a perspective because I wasn't there.
Currently I'm 0 for 2 about asking people about our house because Graham couldn't really remember a lot of things about it either. So like I'm 0 for 2 about asking it. So the next guest that I have will have to remember something about our house.
You need to speak to James Aikenley because that is his baby. He loved that show.
Hey, all right, okay, then Katie and Hayley have nominated it. James Aikenley is going to be guest number 3.
You're up next, James.
You're next. There you are, James. You've been called out by Katie and Hayley. It wasn't me. I didn't do this one. Them two did it. So the next show that we'll do that was massive to me, and I know it was huge to you as well, was Sister Act.
Oh yeah, never shuts up about Sister Act.
Never. None of them do. None of them do. It's because everybody that was important or everybody that is amazing in Katie's life, apart from obviously you, Hayley, you're the most important.
Yeah,
apart from you, everybody that is important in Katie's life today was in that show.
Yeah.
Everyone bar Steph Parkin. She was the only one that wasn't.
Sorry.
But absolutely, I had it. Oh, we just had the best time with Sister Act. Like all of us, we all just got on so well, and it was just. Oh, Claire was another one that was missing. Claire Edwards.
Yes.
She wasn't in it either. That was heartbreaking. But yeah, like everyone was just. It was just incredible, that show. It was just, I'm sorry, you've heard this so many times, but the camaraderie that we had, the fun that we had, I mean, the nun costumes on their own were just brilliant, and we all felt hilarious because we didn't have to worry about hair or makeup because we were nuns. So, like, getting ready took, like, no time. There was no quick changes in particular. You just changed your top bit, I don't know what they're called, into the glittery versions of them anyway. So it was just a ball. And I mean, I was so lucky to play Mary Patrick, who is basically me times about 100. She's just so excitable about everything, and that is basically me. And I got to share that role with Juliet, who is just a powerhouse. She's just phenomenal. And it was just, me and her got on so great. And it was a really nice role share because it was very much like, I'm not sure how to say this. How do you do it? What do you think of it? Well, how about this? What about that? What do you do then? What do you do? And it was just, she was just amazing to work with and to share the role with. And she's just an absolute talent powerhouse as it is. But it was just so fun from start to finish. We went to the open air theatre in character as the nuns to advertise the show. And me and Jasmine, who was playing Mary Laz, I was getting excited over a slush puppy, and the person who was serving us, I was just saying about, do you really kill puppies? And she was just like, no, there's no puppies. And I was like, oh good, God wouldn't like that. Like, this is just how we just did the whole thing in character. And this giggle, my laugh for Mary Patrick, don't know where that came from. That just appeared, and yeah, it was just had a whale of a time, absolute whale of a time.
For me, it's the instancy it was, and it's there. She's immediately there, and you've immediately just jumped straight into her, and then right back in normal to think. It would take me like 20 minutes to even try that. She's just one of them characters though, because she is so like larger than life. You could just easily just like slip in, slip out. She's a bit like Dolly, same thing, just such a big character. She's just, she was hilarious to play, and I just had fun playing her every night that I got to do it. It was just so funny. Loved it. We were a moment
okay.
and do that, and then we will talk about Hayley's amazing, super talented project that she is trying to do throughout these years, but obviously this year's just gone because of the various stuff happening in the world, and that's the spoken word arts project at the Stephen Joseph Theatre.
What?
The what?
Project?
The spoken art, the spoken word.
The one that she
No, have I just made something up?
I just did a performance.
That was the performance, yeah.
Okay. I swear to God, in my mind somewhere there was like, no, we're gonna get kids into spoken word, everything like that. That's gonna be like monthly stuff at the Stephen Joseph. I have no idea where it's come from. I'm sorry if I've made it up. I really apologise.
No.
Yeah, I think you've done that.
Okay, that's really embarrassing for me, and I'll probably cut that entire thing out.
Maybe
you got Dare to
Yeah.
Create mixed up, but that was with YM and it was more than spoken word.
Yeah.
No, because never mind. Let's move on. Let's just
Okay.
move on. That's
that
one that's there. I will pause 2 seconds, just very quickly, because my dog is absolutely begging to go outside. He's been licking my face for like the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
So give me 2 seconds while I go and do that. I will pause very, very quickly. Bear with me 2 seconds while I deal with him. Okay. So yeah, we are gonna carry on and move from the YMCA a little bit, and just talk a little bit about the t-shirts and mugs you guys are wearing today, which is this whole Dare to Create. I was going to wear mine that I'd ordered, but it's not arrived in time.
It's on its way though, isn't it?
It is on its way. It is on its way. It's coming from wherever it is, and it is on its way. And I'm gonna laugh when it comes tomorrow, and then this interview was conducted today. So it is on its way. But yeah, let's talk about Dare to Create, because I'm really, really interested in this. I have no idea what it is. So educate me and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. You take it? I always take it.
You take it.
It's because I do all the work.
I'll add the bits in that you forget.
So basically, we came up with Dare to Create because, well, as you know, we're both creatives and we're both performers, and we've both also taught for a really long time. So Katie's taught drama all over the shop, and I teach creative writing and poetry and spoken word, and we wanted to use the creativity that we had to support other people. And whilst there is a lot of creative organisations in Scarborough, and there's a lot of things on the stage and musicals and dancers, we really wanted to kind of, how did you phrase it the other day?
Oh, I phrased it really well, didn't I?
Yeah.
There's a lot of sort of opportunities to perform and to sing and to act and to dance, but we wanted to pull that back a little bit and give like young people the opportunity to actually devise their own work. So whether that be writing a poem or a short story, or whether that's writing a play or a pantomime or a monologue, whatever it may be, we wanted to give them the opportunity to take it right from the start, right from writing it to performing it, and learning sort of like stagecraft, so the lighting, the sounds, the everything from the moment of having that idea to putting on that performance. We wanted to give young people the opportunity to experience that side of it, not just because obviously everything that the dance schools and everyone in Scarborough does is incredible, but we just noticed there was a little gap in the market for actually writing their own material, and working on projects where it will culminate in performances and things like that. So
yeah, and we really want to do things. It's grown a little bit. That was the initial idea. So we really want to do creative projects that really kind of push boundaries, and people are creating work that means something to them, and that also means something to other people. So that could be protest work or mental health, working with people affected by mental health, LGBT, anything sort of that means something. So it's kind of grown a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
hasn't it? So this was the initial idea, and we kind of put a project together, and we started to go for a funding bid. Unfortunately, we didn't get the first one, so we put in another one. But then COVID happened, and the Arts Council just stopped all funding bids. So unfortunately, that has not gone ahead. But we have been, although we've been furloughed from our normal jobs, well, not all of them, but a big part of them, and I've been furloughed from my job. It has given us the opportunity to think, what's the company about and what more can we do? So I have been teaching adults for Scarborough Tech, so I kind of, when we can go out again, I really want to do writing courses for all ages, not just for young people. And we kind of want to do a bit of everything, don't we?
Yeah, and like we want to, I was explaining on the live stream the other day, because like young people nowadays, they have to learn a full anthology of poems for their English GCSE. And I know how hard that was when I could take my anthology in with me. These guys now have to completely remember them. They're not allowed the anthologies or anything. So when they see a poem on their GCSE paper, they've got to instantly be able to think of another poem and compare or contrast, depending on what the question's asking for. And I think that is a huge, huge challenge, because I know, me personally, that wouldn't have worked for me. I wouldn't just be able to remember things like that. So we have come up with an idea of what we'd like to do, and we've had a little bit of experience of doing it before, is going into schools and doing sort of like potentially like drama workshops or even music-based workshops around these poems, so they stick in their head for a different reason. So it might be, oh, that was the poem that we did that drama piece to, and we workshopped it where we had to speak really quietly because this is the tone of the poem, and etc. etc. and getting it into the students' heads, so it's a little bit easier to remember. Like for Macbeth, for instance, I came up with a rap to help me remember it and remember the story of Macbeth for my English. So I was sat there doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme tune in my head, but it was my Macbeth rap. So it's like little things like that helped me. If that could just help even a handful of other young people going into their GCSEs, we want to look at things. We want to be able to provide that, and we think putting like drama or music to it might be one way that may appeal to not all students, of course, but to even, like we say, just a handful of students that hopefully they'll go, oh, that was when they made us do this, and I remember this bit, and that would work with this poem because of this reason. And next minute they've got all these ideas, and it's not just, what did I write on the page again? What were my notes? That's another thing, and it's just kind of growing our ideas.
It's about instilling creativity from that seed, really, everything that we do. So we have a package of services that we can offer, making a play in a day, a project that Kate has just spoken about, which is called Poetry Alive. And I really want to go into schools, and we want teach them about spoken word and do slam poetry, which is really, really important for young people, giving young people a voice. And it's kind of, I've seen it take off across the country, and then I came here and there was nothing. And I was like, right, I need to do something. I need to bring it here, and I need to bring other artists in, and I need the young people within North Yorkshire to know there's a greater world, and try and help them engage in all different ways. So it is growing and growing. Obviously, we launched a website a couple of months ago. So that's kind of got all of our services and stuff. Obviously, we can't do anything right now because we're all locked down. So instead, and because we couldn't get the funding, because that's obviously all gone COVID priorities, and so it should, we were thinking, right, how can we, make the business sustainable? What other income streams can we create? And that's where the store came in. And the shop. I did some research into how we could get one up and running online, and I've been looking into that for a couple of months, designing t-shirts, mugs, bags, and we thought, that's one thing that shows people can buy into the brand, and it provides us with an income stream, and it's not about like everybody has to go and buy now, but it's something extra.
And anything that we earn from that goes straight back into the business, which is going to mean that we can get these projects off the ground and out in the community once we're allowed, obviously, because obviously you can't do it. We need resources, we need bits and pieces. So anything that we earn either is for our LGBT collection, that is going to LGBTQ plus charities, but anything that is Dare to Create related, like Let Creativity Bloom and the other bits that we've got, that will go straight back into, not us, we don't get an income from it whatsoever, but it goes into the business, so we can start getting the resources for these projects together, and we can hopefully, once this is all calmed down, get out there and start delivering these and just helping others. Goes back to what you said earlier, did my mum inspire me to want to help others? Absolutely. And what have I got? I've got my creativity, and that's the way that we both, thankfully we're both very similar in that, and that's the way that we want to help people. So right,
I think everything that you just said there, it sounds amazing. The poetry remembering thing, which is Poetry Active, I believe that you've just said that's called.
Poetry Alive.
Poetry Alive, sorry. Poetry Alive, even if that helps one kid, that's all it takes.
Exactly.
It takes one kid. If one kid gets a GCSE out of it, it's worked. The shop, obviously, as I mentioned before you went into the massive description, I bought something from it. As you can tell, I'm not really fashionable in any way, shape or form. I still haven't dyed this to a normal colour. It's bright ginger, so it's completely fine. But
working it.
Working it, just working it. Yeah, work it. And the main factors that you guys continue to keep going, and the spirit and intelligence that is needed for it hasn't died down with the lockdown that everybody needs. And obviously you've done webinars that are able to help people even when they're down and doing all this, that, the other. And the fact that it's not only just for young people, which a lot of like young adults especially find that when they're looking for things to do or looking for new projects to do around Scarborough or around the North Yorkshire area, that as soon as you hit the age of 18 or 16, that's it.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't learn this before, you can't have this now.
Yeah. It's kind of the same. I think the ages, maybe I've found it a little bit higher. I've always found that once you hit 25, that's it. You're not considered a young person anymore. I get really excited when something's like, if you're 30 or under, because I'm 30 and I just fit in the bracket, and I get really excited about it because I'm still considered a young person. But you know, I didn't start till really late, so I kind of maybe missed a lot of opportunities because I wasn't young enough to take part. So we're also looking at starting a poetry collective like the one that I was a part of in Nottingham. And you know, I thought really hard about kind of, do I put an age limit on that or not? But I'm kind of, you know, going from maybe 15 and then up. I've just said 15 and up because why shouldn't it be for everybody?
Yes.
And you know, some of the projects that we do will be young people focused. And it has to be like that sometimes because of safeguarding and all of that kind of stuff. But the more and more we think about it, the more like, right, how do we reach the really little ones, and how do we reach older people, and you know, so just watch this space because it just keeps going. Every time I have 10 minutes or any time on my hand,
anytime she goes in the
whatsoever,
shower, she comes out and she goes, right, I've been thinking. Apparently shower time is her thinking time, and every time she comes out, I just look at her and I'm like, so what's added to the business today?
Yeah.
And there's always something, but it's all just about, like she said, just reaching from little tiny tots right the way up. Anyone that wants to just let go of a little bit of creativity in one way or another, we will have a project for you, or like a collective to attend, or a group, or a choir, or something. We'll have something for everybody, and it's just all about helping people. That's it.
And you will be able to find the link to Dare to Create and their website and everything that they do. That will be in the description of the video, so if people want to check it out, they can just go exit full screen, click. It's that simple. It really will be.
Thank you.
No, it like, this is why I wanted to do this, of like, and I chose the name Who You Are is Important. And we started off with the questions that we started with, and we've gone through in the specific way we have, because we've now shown a picture over these 55 or 52 minutes that we've been doing this, that you guys are all about giving people back and giving back to communities, and you've been raised in different circumstances completely, but when you've come together, the creative juices haven't died down, and they've always remained flowing, even in the hardest time of the last 50 years that this country is facing, with the coronavirus pandemic and the current Black Lives Matter protests that are happening as well. And if people can find a creative outlook to express that, whether you're 13 and just learning about it, or you're 30 and not really understanding it but need to voice your opinion somehow, these ways are important to do it, instead of just going on Facebook and doing a 300-word post that makes no sense.
Exactly.
You know, everyone's expression is valid, but yeah, that's what we're about. creative expression and finding ways. That's how I always dealt with anything in my life. Is if I've not understood it, then I've written a poem about it and I've performed it, and the more I do that, the more I understand something. And like you say, it's just a creative outlet to.
And I think because we're quite different in how we do it, like Hayley's obviously got like the creative writing side of it, whereas I'm a bit more of a performer about it. So if something's going on with me, I don't necessarily write a poem, but I might go and attend a dance class, or I might start writing a script that I want to actually develop into a play or a pantomime or a musical at some point. So it's like, I think that is a nice balance as well, to have that wider coverage of something for everybody.
Or write a song about it, for example, and sing that and do that, like, yeah. And
exactly.
I found specifically for me, when I went into a creative environment and the amount I learned from people like that were all ages, that were everything like that. I learned things from 14-year-olds I never thought I'd ever learn.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely, me too. And I still do daily. Yeah. Whenever at the YMCA or when I was teaching, even in the schools and working at Scarborough Tech, like you say, it's not necessarily something you expect, but it happens. Yes. It absolutely happens.
It does. Like everybody says, we need to nurture and balance and educate these kids and do everything like that, which of course every single day needs to happen. But they teach us as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, they do. Yeah.
100%, and that is something that while I worked at the YMCA for the year and a half and the 4 odd years that I volunteered there, I learned every single day I walked in there, from people's experiences to what they're actually doing and how they do it is like a different way of thinking from yourself. And if these creative, amazing people can do it, that matters, and they can show it and do that lot. So my little rant there moves us really nicely onto the fact that both of you currently are furloughed from the YMCA.
Yep.
Because of the furloughing scheme nationally there. It's not a negative or a gripe at anybody. It is just the way it happens. They're a charity that's been going on 175 years. Amazing group of people that all three of us have been part of for some time now. Hayley, you're new to it, but you got a crash course in what everything's about from Christmas Cracker, which is, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, it is the living embodiment of what the YMCA represents. At one time, it's a show that can be about anything.
100%. I think that's what we want it to be. So.
You hit the nail on the head. Exactly.
And when I first got to the YMCA, Christmas Cracker was directed by yourself, Rebecca Bogue, who's currently in China. That's how far she's come. And Miss Chelsea J. Cook, who last year spent the entire year performing every single day. She did 4 shows a night. Yep.
Yeah. Working crazy hours, but enjoying every second.
And she got Employee of the Year.
Yep, she did. Yeah.
She did. So, she as well is an incredibly talented human being. And
massive.
The three of you were heading it up when I was first there, and the three of you did a number of years of it. Obviously, as I discussed with Graham last episode, he took it over and it got given to him, but he trusted you guys with it and said, look, you guys know all these people, you know how this is wanting to run, you know my vision, go for it. When Chelsea would have been, 15?
No, I think she was 18 plus, I think.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, obviously, I mean, as you know, she's performed there for many, many years. Yeah. But I think it was about when Chelsea hit 18. And I think it was when she started working at Carphone Warehouse, and she was in a little, less of the shows. So she had, obviously, the availability to help us out with the choreography. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's even massively changed now, because like you said, Chelsea's off starting her career in the performance industry. You've got Becca following her dreams of teaching drama in China. She'll be back very soon, and she's managed to land herself a teaching drama job here in Bridlington. Mm-hmm. And then so obviously now it's me and you, and last year we worked with Juliet, who we all know, I've already said, is incredible. And this year we have a whole new team, bar us two. We have a whole new team this year, hopefully, if we can do it with COVID and everything. But it's massively Graham's baby, always has been, always will be. And we just bring his vision. He goes, I want it to be like this. Or he will say to me, like last year he turned to me, didn't he? He just went, I want a chair dance.
Oh, yeah, that's where the chair dance.
That's all I got. That's all I got. I want a chair dance to this song. And unfortunately that song did not work. We did have to change the song.
He's been sending us songs for months already, hasn't he?
We've already got two
to do
dances.
this song in Cracker.
Yeah.
We're in June and it's half done.
We're half done already.
I think he just stays up till like 2 a.m. watching like The Voice auditions or something like that, going like, this would work in my show, this would work really well, this is amazing. And then just sends them at 3 a.m. in an email, just like, here's a song, work with what you've got.
Yeah. He is he's amazing, and he's very open to our ideas, and he's very open to sort of like having a new fresh outlook, like, oh, what about this, and whichever team I've worked with, it's always been amazing, and now we just keep building it every year, and it is very much about, it highlights a lot of things but has a Christmas spirit on it. It has just that Christmas twist on it, and we love doing it, and we love giving everybody that auditions and is successful in the audition process, they all get a chance to do whatever they request. So like, we always ask them, do you want to act, sing or dance, or do all three? And we know there are some people who aren't necessarily as comfortable with singing on their own as they are with doing a dancing solo, and once they tell us that, we accommodate around them
as best we can.
As best we can. And sometimes we push them and we say, well, actually, we think you can sing, so you're going to do this little number for us.
That's what happened to me.
That's what for you. Or we make them sing like a little group or something, because we like to try and build that confidence as well. Instead of, I can't sing. There's no such thing as can't. That's what I was always told when I was growing up. So yeah, we just like to give opportunities to those young people that you may not necessarily see at the front of other shows throughout the year, or they may not even do them shows because they just don't have the time or the capacity to do so. And we just have a giggle with it, really, don't we?
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
A massive relaxed environment. I'm normally always playing pranks, or I used to always get told off by Becca because I was always messing around.
Can't imagine that. Now she gets told off by me.
Yeah.
And like the amazing thing about it is that like the pair of you spent so much time at this environment. Katie, you over a number of years, and Hayley through either being only members, helping out, or doing anything like that. And now both of you work there full time.
I work there full time.
I'm part time.
You're part time, but like. Still, by being part time, the amount of hours that are required in your job field is vast. Let's not beat around the bush and say part time 16-hour a week or a week or a month or whatever job it is. The role itself is vast, and it is a crucially important thing. So
huge.
Hayley, I can never remember what your official actual job title is. When I was doing the Graham Ibbotson episode, we spent like 5 minutes trying to figure it out, and I got like 3 messages of people saying it's actually this, and I still can't remember. So please educate me and the rest of the people what your job title is at the YMCA, please.
My official job title is marketing officer, although I get promoted by myself and other people as a marketing manager quite a lot, because I manage all the marketing. But my official title is marketing officer.
Mm-hmm. And when you first got into that role and first thought, I'm going to apply for this, what made you kind of do that? Like, that was a really badly worded question, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, because I wanted to help the community, and I love that organisation. And obviously, like, I haven't been here very long, but I've seen, it was the first place that Katie took me when I came here, It was to the YM and to meet everyone, and everyone was so amazing. And I saw the work that they did, obviously firsthand, and then it was Cracker, and I've never felt so at home, no matter what I've done. So I wanted.
That's so nice.
Oh, nice. Oh,
That's
cute.
so nice.
And I wanted to help get the word out, and running a lot of projects myself. I've done a lot of marketing, and I thought my skills could help them, and hope that they have. So far, I've been there almost a year, although this year's I've not been there for.
Been cut short a little bit.
Has been cut short.
Yeah.
So my first year there has been cut a little bit short, but hopefully I've done what I set out to as much as I can so far.
With what a lot of people have said to me is that if we can make it through this year, and the obstacles that have been put in front of us this year, the rest of it's going to be a walk of breeze.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's going to be a walk of ease, because the pressure that it's put on the society and us as individuals to not only carry on with your projects of, say, Dare to Create, but also think down the line and think like August time and go, no, there's this massive events that are going to be there, and oh no, they've got to be moved now because of this disaster and everything like that. And it is such a, we're going to get through this, and when we all do, it's going to be, we're all going to be closer, we're all going to be stronger, and we're all going to be better for it.
And hopefully a lot more grateful.
Yeah.
When things are normal, just realising what we have, because obviously now it's all been taken away. It's, it just makes you a little bit more humble.
Yeah. And it, for the vast amount of NHS workers that we have that volunteer and spend a hell of a lot of time down at the YMCA as well, there are two that come up in my mind immediately, and it's the Winters.
Yeah.
Both of their kids are heavily invested in it, as well as both of them. Donna's been up in the costume department for nearly 4 years now. She's an absolute warrior with a sewing machine.
She is.
If there's one person, there are two people up there that you do not annoy. It's Wendy and Donna.
Oh,
you are.
Don't even think about it. Do not even think about it. It's just. I'm gonna have nightmares thinking about that now. You cross Donna or Wendy. No. It's just no. Just don't do it.
Is your costume hung up? Is it hung up properly?
Oh, they're absolutely wonderful women, but
100%.
you do not take your costume off and throw it on the floor.
No.
You do not do that. And if you do, expect the wrath of Wendy, and I promise you, it's not worth it. Just pick it up. Just pick it up and hang it up, because thankfully I've never been on the receiving end, but my word, I never want to be.
No.
Let's just put it that way.
They're amazing, absolutely amazing. As the post that was on YMCA's Facebook today, it's nearly the 63rd year, I think, or something like that. It's a lot of years that Wendy will be a member of the YMCA down there, and it's so incredible. So yeah, them two are absolutely amazing. The Winters as well, being frontline workers and doing that lot, unbelievable, absolutely incredible people. And the fact that we as a community always, we kind of take them as face value people and say, oh, it's Donna and Darren, or it's Donna and Wembley, or it's these people, and we don't actually realise what they do for a living.
Yeah. And they're incredible. All of them. Yeah. Them are incredible. And like you say, they volunteer. Not only do, like, I know Donna's obviously been working on the front line, Darren has for ages, but not only do they do that, they then also volunteer so much of their time for the YMCA as well.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, completely, again, selfless individuals
100%.
who just love the place. And it is, I do think, though, there is such a thing as the YMCA bug. I feel like once you walk in, it's worse than coronavirus. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to be near one cough or sneeze. You've got it. And once you're in, that's it. You never want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there is such a thing as the YMCA bug. 100%. It is an infectious place. As Hayley said, when you first go in there, you feel like you're home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The people there are so rewarding, so amazing. They give everything there to, as we said before, with the Dare to Create. If it helps one person, it's worth it. It's the same value at the YMCA. If it helps one kid be better or come out of their shell or grow confidence, it's worth it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's just such a beautiful place.
Yeah. And then we move from Hayley being marketing officer / manager.
Just officer.
No, like how many times on the phone have you just gone, it's the marketing manager here? Yeah, it's
Genuinely all the time. I'm sorry, Steve. I know my place. I'm the marketing officer. It just slip.
Slip of the tongue.
I feel like it makes me sound more important, so people take me more seriously.
It's unbelievable. And then we move to Katie and the fact that you're assistant theatre manager now.
I am. I am indeed.
You've literally climbed every ladder.
I think you had to do that in your interview as well, didn't you? Climb a ladder.
No, I didn't have to climb a ladder. It was straight after my interview I had to climb a ladder to fix the Jack and the Beanstalk balloons. But yes, I started out just dancing on the stage with Benson's. I then was a performer. I then did a little bit of volunteering backstage, and then obviously directing Cracker, and then now I'm the assistant theatre manager under the wonder that is Graham Ibbotson. So yeah, absolutely love it. Love it.
Was there any pressure when you went for the job? Not by anybody at the YMCA, because there wouldn't be. In your head, was there any pressure whatsoever because Mr. Liam Downey had done such a wonderful job for so many years?
That pressure hasn't gone yet. That pressure, like filling Liam's shoes is, I mean, not only is he a lot taller than me and is obviously a bigger shoe. I could probably sit in his shoes, but they are massive, massive shoes to fill because he is just the font of all knowledge, whether it be the tech side or, you know, the front of house side. He is just, and the amount of his life that he's dedicated to YMCA as well, whether that be voluntary or in his job roles there, he's another pillar of the YM. So to try and fill those shoes, that pressure is still on me to be, I mean, I'm never going to be Liam. I'm never going to be as massively intelligent as he is with all of the technical side and things like that, and he's still amazing and lets me call on him, and I do often ring him up going, Liam, like I do, and but he always helps me. It's never, no, that's not my role or anything. He's more than happy to help me, and so yeah, huge pressure, hasn't gone away, but I have the amazing team behind me. Like you've mentioned, Jake. He's our theatre technician and he supports me no end. Evie has mentioned that me and Jake have like a little weird bromance going on. It's like he is like my little bro, and we're always ending up laughing about something or other. But he's my rock. Always turn to Jake if I need any help whatsoever. Jamie, he's been another one of my rocks when I'm going, what does this button do? Jamie's been there. He's amazing. And then it's obviously the training that I've received from Graham in terms of front of house, managing the front of house. And Judith, she helped me no end with front of house. Big legend. Love to Judith, absolute legend.
Another pillar.
Another
pillar.
100%. But so everyone's just been, it's not sort of been like, of course it was never going to be with anyone down there, but it's not been like, are you going to match up to Liam then? It's been very much like, I can do this, Katie, or do you want help with this, or do you want me to do this, or, you know, just massive love and support and help, and yeah, just bring the Katie side to it. So if I do something wrong, I laugh about it and try and fix it. It's just that's all I do, just bring my normal positivity to it. So yeah,
and that kind of energy as well is something that everybody will always be drawn to. Liam had this mantra of just you wanted to be near him because he knew everything, and you
Yes,
knew
he
you were
does.
going to learn everything with him. And he is an
Yes,
absolute legendary man, and I love him to pieces. He's
he
brilliant.
is.
And then you've got in with this knowledge that you're now recuperating and everything like that. You've got this infectious personality that everybody can just go, yeah, okay, right, we've got to do this now, because if we don't, we'll disappoint her, and then if she's disappointed, we're all going to get disappointed,
Yeah.
and it's just going to go.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
But like, it again goes back to the roots of this, is that the pair of you, so selfishly now, obviously you're both starting your lives and doing this again, and it's who you guys are is important, not only to me as a human being, but to a vast amount of a larger community, and they rely on you to be who you are. And without it, like it leaves a heart in a lot of people's minds and everything like that. And you guys know that you mean the absolute world to me as well, and everything like that. And yeah,
You do to us. You do to us.
Well, I sometimes try. Just
No,
don't
you
know sometimes.
You do. We do have a lot of love for everybody, don't we? And we just try and put that into everything that we do. Our passion, our love, our energy, maybe my energy.
Hey, I've got more energy than I used to.
Yeah, that's true.
The infectious personality has just it has rubbed off, especially this past year. This past year, we've seen such a positive Hayley, and it's brilliant. It's utterly amazing.
I just swear everybody used to hate me because they're like,
No.
oh, now you're so different and you're so lovely and you're so positive.
No,
I'm like,
you were just.
what did everybody think of me before?
You were just a bit more shy, whereas now you will go out there and put yourself out there, and you just weren't as extroverted. You were just a bit more introverted.
No.
Yeah, that's all it is. And I think my attitude of just constantly being this. You call me a sunflower, don't you? People say I'm like the human epitome of a sunflower, and it's just like, I think being like that. I think you've got to see the good in everything, and like for instance, lockdown. It's a terrible situation, but it's made us look at our business. It's helped us grow our business. We've taken on extra learning. We've learned about ourselves, and it's just like you've just got to do that. And I think that's rubbed off on you as well. Like you're very much. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I can't help it. I'm just apparently a sunflower. Apparently. No, that's a bad thing. I like being a sunflower.
It's amazing. It's utterly cute. Right, before we officially end, we're gonna start a brand new tradition, because I forgot to do it when I did it with Graham, and I'll probably go back and re-interview him because there's loads. We could go on forever with Ibbotson. We're gonna start a new tradition that I do almost at the end of every single interview that I ever do. So we're gonna ask you guys 9 very quick fire questions. Okay.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to ask you 9 very quick fire questions. The explanation and the actual description of the questions will be down below, and do that because it takes like 5 minutes for me to explain what they are, so you guys can just read it if everybody wants. So, first of all, whoever wants to ask this first, what is your favourite word?
Enjambment. Plinth.
That was brilliant. That was really good.
Just like saying it.
Again, keeping it PG-13. What's your least favourite word?
Fine.
Kelly.
Yes. Both so passive aggressive. Brilliant.
Hey.
So amazing.
Just put the open in a bit. Sorry. I'm okay.
At least you didn't say K dot. That would have been.
K dot is even worse.
Oh, that would have been worse. So let me finish this, because this is a 2-part, so it's 4. So it's 3 and 4. So as the pair of you, like, creatively, when you guys sat in front of somebody or they're doing something right there in front of you, what specifically turns you on about that creativity? Like, is it just the fact that they're out there doing it, or is it the fact that they're wanting to do it, and it makes you guys just sit there and go, ha, that smile, or is it a particular, like, little thing that somebody does that you guys can do it? So, like, a really, really good tenor note, or like a really, really low note that somebody would do, that's always the one that gives me the heebie-jeebies and makes me just go, wow, that's amazing.
For me, it's passion. If I can see someone's got passion, I feel passionate.
Yeah. I think for me, it's even if someone's got a want to try, like, no matter how confident they feel about anything, about creativity-wise, I think it's just that want to try, and then seeing them blossom, and then when they do it, whether it be hit that note or they do that performance or that spoken word poem and they do it out loud, that how they blossom and the smile on them afterwards.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Yeah. Like, I would.
Two really, really good answers. Absolutely, two really good answers. I really like that. So then we'll go to the flip and negative side of it. What turns you off?
About creativity.
For me, it's when people like poo-poo it, like as in it's not as, say, highly regarded as other ventures. I don't think necessarily it's respected and held accountable for how much it can help and develop somebody.
Yeah.
Unnecessary criticism.
Yeah.
Of others. That attitude of I'm better than you. If someone's just out and you've been doing it a long time and you just think, oh, well, you're not as good. I hate that kind of thing. I think
ain't nobody got time for that.
Yep. For me, a massive one is arrogance. So, like, if you know you're amazing, like, which everybody has, it takes that, and I think it's something that sometimes has to be taught to some people, is that it takes that little bit of time to just take a step back and go, hang on a minute, I'm this good here. Can I make this person that's down here up to the same level as me?
Yeah.
I think it's all about being humble and knowing your roots and knowing where you started out too, because nobody starts out as this, I don't know, whether it be a West End actress, nobody starts out like that. We all have got to start somewhere, and I think, you need to be humble.
What is your favourite sound?
Oh, I can't do it. It's the tongue pop that the drag queens do, but I can't do it.
I can't do it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. But that sound, or the ITV little ITV player.
In car indicator.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Especially in our new car. Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful sound. I indicate just for the sake of it sometimes.
Like, I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. I was expecting like a sax or like a really nice song or something like that. I wasn't expecting like a car indicator.
Did you realise you read it?
In terms of like performance, it's not actually the performance, but clicking, spoken word. If you ever watch a spoken word video or go to a spoken word event and you hear clicking, hearing that sound is like.
Oh wait, I really like the really low guitar, the bass guitar. Right. If you can really hear like a solid bass guitar beat, that's an amazing sound.
We'll go the flip side of it then. What about I've lost them. It's taken me an hour and a half-ish, and I've lost them. They've just gone.
Sorry, we're back.
Right, only a couple more.
Okay.
What sound or noise is it that you just cannot stand?
I don't like.
I've got something.
Oh, sorry. Got something.
You go.
Oh, you go. You go.
Just go.
I hate the sound of knives scraping on plates.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, right. Okay.
Don't like that.
People either A, slurping their drinks, or B, eating with their mouths open. And when I say that, I mean, it's not just like a little niggle. I mean, rage builds from my toes all the way up my body, and like steam comes out of my ears.
You are missing one there. somebody, if you take a hot drink, and she can hear you swallowing, she hates it. Hates it.
She swallows
I
really
do it
loud.
all the time. Apparently, I've got a really loud swallow.
It's like she's swallowing bricks. It is like she's swallowing bricks. It's like it's water. Why does it sound like you've got about 3 boulders in there?
I get really nervous drinking tea. Sometimes I go into a different room just so that I can drink it because I just get daggers constantly. Sometimes I have to hold the tea in my mouth until there's a really loud noise on the telly so that I can swallow that tea.
She's not even exaggerating. It really affects me. There's a word for it, you know. It's mysophobia.
Yeah, all right.
What profession other than your own would you really love to do?
West End actress. Performer.
Criminal psychologist.
Oh.
I got that first.
Oh, yeah, all that.
That's a really good one. They're really good answers. What profession would you really not like to do?
Driving a bus.
Yes, she brought it all the way back. All the way back.
I like it. I like it when you can.
Anything with frogs.
Anything with frogs.
Anything that means I'd have to deal with frogs. I'm
Where did
petrified.
that come from?
I'm petrified. It's the only thing I really don't like is frogs.
A frog farmer?
They exist. Some sort of like pond cleaner or something, just because I'd have to deal with the frogs.
Oh,
I'd be fine
that's
with the
amazing.
fish. Just keep them frogs away from me.
And the last question before I end today's absolutely amazing show. You guys have been brilliant. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, that's a good question. If heaven exists, what do I want him to say to me? Oh my word, that's a really good question.
These are meant to be quick fire.
I know. What would I like God to say to me if it all exists? Help me.
Hello.
Hello's one. Hello's a normal one. Common answers that I've had before when I've asked this question to many people is everybody you know and love is here, or you're home, or you did good, or something like that is like motivational and makes sure that you and who you are was important to the world and everything like that. Bring it all back, full circle.
I think I'd like God to say to me, "Yes, Queen, you made it." Welcome to season 15.
Woo!
Yeah, that's what I want him to say to me. Because I know my mum's up there. She'll be up there, so. And she'll probably be like, "Girl, you slayed."
Your mum?
Yeah, no, she wouldn't say that. She wouldn't say that.
Brilliant.
You need one. You can't just have hello. You need to be more inventive.
I don't know.
Probably like, oh, bloody hell. To think we'd
What are
see
you
it.
doing here?
What you're doing here is brilliant. I like it. What you're doing here is
What are you
brilliant.
doing?
I absolutely like it. So I just want to say thank you so much. Honestly, it's been brilliant for this show. So just give everybody a wave goodbye. Thank you so much.